principle of watermelon washout is simple. You can eat it, blend it, or juice it. Have as much as you want. Only watermelon though, nothing else. You're taking a food vacation. And the reason why we're doing this is because when you eat only one singular food, especially something as hydrating and nourishing as watermelon, you're giving your digestive system a break. And when your digestive system has a break, it can focus on the other areas of your body that need healing. Digestion takes up so much energy in the human body, and giving that system a chance to breathe and take a break helps your body in other areas. The other thing is that, especially if you live in the United States, most of our population is chronically dehydrated because we're not drinking the right kind of water. We're eating low fiber, low motility foods. A lot of people are eating mucus forming foods, and all of these things contribute to how well you're hydrated and how well you're feeling. Doing a watermelon washout floods your body with H3O, which is more viscous and more nutrient dense than regular water. So if this is something that you're interested in and you want to come join the party of people that are aligning themselves with their highest good through hydration and raw food, get
Greetings, 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 greetings. We always show up, we always show out. One of my sayings is, if you don't show up, you can't show out. So, as advertised, we are here. Thank you for joining. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. This is what we do, family. We are coming together. We bring in the information to the community at a very, very, very high level. This will not slow down. We are gearing up for Watermelon Washout. If you haven't joined, watermelonwashout.com is where you sign up for that at. This is a serious, serious, serious moment in history, and I am honored to be a part of it. So, with that being said, share the live, share the live, share the live, because we about to get live in here, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to where all your news in the community is thorough and raw and real, family. With Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, I got my family with me tonight. This is somebody, and I was just telling my brother this, he didn't know this. This is somebody, when I first got online, you know, I wasn't even about herbs or none of that. I was all about fruiting up. I was really against herbs in a way. It was so crazy, but this is one of the brothers I seen doing it. I'm like, okay. I was only using Yaki stuff at first. Then I seen Tiger Carper, high level individual, doing the thing in the community, bringing the information, helping people heal themselves. That's what time we on, family. So without further ado, let me bring my brother to the stage. What up, Mr. Carper? How you doing tonight?
Peace, family. Peace. Peace to the Fruit family. I'm honored to be on here, family. Honored.
Man, honored to have you, brother. Honored to have you, man. Like, as I was just saying in the introduction, that how I got on, turned on to you through Facebook, through the community, through like trying to get myself right. Because when I got back online, I wasn't all the way right. But now I'm starting to feel like I'm getting there. But I commend you for all the work and information you bring to the community, family. So I always start off with letting my people know who don't know you. So give you an opportunity to let everybody know who you are, family.
Yeah. So I do a lot. Like I tell everybody, I'm on a journey of passion, bro. I'm a photographer, a videographer. I was a substitute teacher, a technology teacher before I got into the herbs. And you know, and then through some misfortune, like always, we always come into this game through misfortune. Well, a lot of us do. You know, very rarely somebody comes to this information by themselves, but uh, I came into the game through misfortune, losing loved ones, and then you know I met the love of my life, and I was about to lose her too. So so that's how I really got into the herbalist game. Uh, and then I became a nutritionist, a holistic nutritionist, and that's my latest passion now. But before that, I was doing videography for commercial jobs, photography, things like that. Just love being a creative.
You got it like a jack
Yeah,
of all trades, family. You you
man.
wearing a lot of hats, man.
I,
Like
I, I, I believe that's
no,
what
go
we're here
ahead.
to do, man. We're here to express ourselves at the highest level. And I was an artist too back in the day. I used to rap. You know what I'm saying? I used to be in. I got a chance to travel the world at 21, opening for 50 Cent, opening for Ja Rule and things like that. That's
Mm,
how me and my girl really met. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do a lot of things. I got to do a lot of things at a young
that's
age.
dope. That's dope.
A lot of people don't
Let's
know my age. I'm almost 47, bro. You know what I mean?
really, man. You looking
Absolutely.
good. You looking good, brother. You looking good. That's what taking care of your health look like, man. That's what taking care
That's
of your health
fruits,
look like.
bro. That's the
I would have
fruits.
never guessed you was 47, family.
Yeah, man.
That's
Knocking on
crazy.
50's door, man. That's why I look up to the OG, Orville, and you know, those type of people, man. That's who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And then
Facts, facts.
I seen your boy. You got so many dope people in the community. First, let me say, man, you feel like somebody that I know, man, like a cousin or a brother or somebody that I know already. You know what I'm saying? Just by the
Facts.
way you carry yourself. You don't hold back. You keep it fun. You keep it light. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. I think you know what, Tiger. Believe it or not, that's important to me. You know why? Because I come from a place where when I came around, people didn't want me around. You know what I'm saying? So like, here come Bobby because I
Yeah.
was drunk all the time. So it's like
Uh,
now this energy that I got, I carry it everywhere, and it's natural. You know, I tell people all the time, you cannot fake this energy. You can't fake it.
can't
You know, so I
can't.
get up every day and I really, really am honored and like really thrilled to be in the headspace that I'm in. So for you to say that, man, I can
Absolutely.
appreciate that because that's the type of energy I purport. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely
definitely.
do.
Let's talk about you though. Before you got on the herb journey and stuff like that, did you face any ailments or anything to make you like that? Did you have that moment to say, "This
Yes.
why I got to do this"?
Absolutely. I was faced, I was diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar. A lot of people thought I was crazy. I used to have
Mm,
a lot of posts, like I said, I used to be a conspiracy theorist. And you know, in your journey, when you're awakening spiritually, you go through some stages, bro. You know what I'm saying? You go
facts.
through the awakening stage. When you first find some things out, the first thing is anger. You're mad all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm,
you go into your research stage where you want to know more. You want to gain some insight. You're in that stage. And then you know, and then you then depression, right? You get depression because you feel like, damn, I can't believe my own people's is trying to kill me. My own, you know, the people that was set up to try to make our lives better here are actually trying to kill us.
mm,
And then it's
facts.
a depression. You know, you go through that stage. You know, and then you know, some people fall off at that point, and some people push past the next level. And I push past that next level. I will, like I've been so-called conspiracy theorist for a long time, like since 9/11, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Uh, uh, and then that's basically where it started for me. If you ever seen a video called Zeitgeist?
I ain't seen it, but I've,
Zeitgeist.
I've seen it in the rotation of all the other
It's an
conspiracy
older
videos.
video.
Yeah, yeah, it's older. Like
Yeah,
that's Alex
it's
Jones and them era. Yeah,
yeah. So once you start finding out that some things are wrong, you start following the money, then you're in your mind, you're just like, what else is going on? What else is messed up? You know what I'm saying? So there were some things that I was doing early, like I stopped eating pork at a at an early age. Could you just realize that I got a lot of Muslims in my family also. They just let you know the things about that are not right, and then you
right.
just jump into other things. Like the jab, for instance. I've been advocating against that for a long time. When I first moved to Connecticut uh, to get my son into school, they wanted to give him a jab, and I challenged it. I was about what was in the shot, what was in the jab. I don't know if I could say that here, but I'm just going to keep on saying the jab. Uh,
Yeah, you good. You
I
good.
challenged. They wanted to give him a jab. One of the things he had to do to go to that school is he had to get the jab. And I asked the lady, the nurse at the school. I was like, you know, what's in that? I wanted to know what was in it, and there was some heavy metals in there at the time. And she basically called me a conspiracy theorist. She said you can't believe everything you read on the internet. So I made her read everything off to me what was in the jab, and it come to find out what was in there. What was there was something in there. I can't think of it right now, but it was a heavy metal that was in there at the time. And I was telling her that I didn't want him to get the shot. And she was like, "You're going to have to take him to another school." And I said, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to take him to another school." And I made her read everything off to me. She had this little pamphlet, and she read everything off to me. She brought other people in there. She got a doctor on the phone, all this other stuff to try to convince me that it was okay to get this jab, right? And then at the end, well, well, we have this for babies, the shot that we usually give to babies, and he can go to the school if he ends up taking that." So I agreed to that. And that's where it started for me. I was like, wait, I have some power. Okay. I don't have to go along with what everybody said. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? That's where it started for me.
Mm, that's interesting, man. Like that was what 2020 when that happened. Yeah. So
No, it
you
was way before that. That was about 10 years ago.
oh
I've
you
been
talking
advocating for
about
a long time.
oh okay. Yeah. I'm talking about the actual the
Oh,
jab.
the C jab. No, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about that.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
of course, I advocated against that, but that's pretty much where it started for me. But the my whole holistic journey, it started when my wife. I'm going to call her my wife. We've been walking our journey since forever. I just don't
Indeed.
believe in the standard, you know, we have to get married and we have to put a ring on our finger to prove to society that we're in love, that we're married. I just don't
Facts.
subscribe to
Facts.
that. And she didn't
Me
have
either,
to
bro.
subscribe to it either. But man, she was on her deathbed. She had PCOS. You don't know what that is? That's polycystic ovarian syndrome. What it
Hmm.
is fibroids. Okay. So when you have fibroids there on your uterus, you can't have any kids or anything like that. So around the time, whenever she would have her cycle, she would bleed almost all the blood out of her body. You know what I'm saying? And we'd have to rush her to the hospital, and she'd have to get infusions and everything all the time. So that's basically where it started for us. I can go into that story if you want me to. I told it so much. I'm really quick with the story.
Yeah, please, please.
Okay. So I would say it was about 8 years ago. We had to rush her. She told me one time, she said, "Hey, uh, she was bleeding out. She felt her heart beating through her ears. She felt her heart beating." And she was like, "Hey, we definitely we gotta go to the hospital." She knows that I don't like hospitals. but the look on her face and how pale she was looking, I said, okay, we're going to go to the hospital. We took her to the hospital, and they said if we wouldn't have came to the hospital, that she would have definitely died that night in her sleep. Okay. Um, and they ended up they put her on a step program, Bobby. What they did, um, they gave her the transfusion and everything. They kept her a couple of days, but we went to this doctor. He was supposed to be a specialist on the deal, and they put us on a 3-step program. They said one of the things she has to do is she has to get a lot of iron in her blood. Okay. And they put her, they said we have to eat a lot of red meat, right? So man, we started eating red meat. I said, cool, we're gonna eat steak, we're gonna eat eggs, we're gonna be doing all this. And I was anemic, so I took the journey with her, and we started getting sicker and sicker and sicker. She was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. She was making more frequent trips to the hospital all the time. Like we was in the middle of the night. Every time her cycle came around, she would bleed for a week and a half. You know what I'm saying? And of course, it destroyed everything. It was destroying our relationship. It destroyed our sex life, and other things like that. Just emotionally, it was just it was a horrible thing. So we went back. We to the doctor. Doctor said, "Hey," he said, "the red meat, thing is not working. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to stop the blood flow. We're going to have to stop the bleeding, right?" So what happened is they put her on a Lupron shot. The Lupron shot is like it's like a depot shot. It's something to stop the flow or stop the bleeding in the young ladies. A lot of them should know what it is, but one of the side effects to the Lupron shot is that you could go paralyzed, right? And just with our luck, she went paralyzed. So there was about a week period, almost a week, where I was actually carrying her to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, is this life? Like, is this what life is supposed to be like? This is not what life's supposed to be like. So we went back, told the doctor that's what was going on. And he wanted her to get another shot. Or he said, if we didn't get this other shot, then the only choice left was surgery. You know what I'm saying? And then we were sitting there in his office, and he had a big desk with his picture of his family on the desk. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, Doc," I said, "what would you do?" His daughter was in the picture. I said, "What would you do if you were in this situation?" And then he said, I wouldn't do any of the procedures. And I said, and I was shocked, and I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Because my daughter's younger. She has time." And my wife, he was only 30 at the time, so he was basically giving up on her. You know what I'm saying? So after that, we said we didn't want to do anything, and he dropped her as a patient. So that's what started my journey. We was already in deep researching Dr. Sabi, and we started ordering his herbs, and from there it took off. The herbs started working, and we cut everything that they put us on, the meat and and the dairy and everything. Sabi, he's very strict with that, and I was having problems dealing with that. I didn't like none of the stuff that Dr. Sabi was saying. I was trying to challenge all the stuff that he was saying, but you can't argue with results. And she was getting better and better and better, and I couldn't get with none of the menu actually of what she was, what Dr. Sabi was putting out. Some of the herbs I never even heard of before, like the burdock root and stuff like that. I wasn't hip to that. I was just a hood guy. I didn't know none of that stuff. So I gravitated naturally to the fruit side. I knew what that stuff was. You know what I'm saying? So that's what started me on my fruitarian path, and that's really when she started healing really rapidly from the fruits and the herbs together.
That story is crazy and incredible. And to say that, I want to take it back though a little bit. So isn't it insane that they would prescribe you basically red meat? Like
You'd be surprised.
That is crazy to me, man. Go eat more red meat to heal yourself. Like
Yeah, red meat
that's
to get iron.
that is astounding. So
Ain't
and
that
that's
wild?
something that's crazy. And like say we don't if we don't know no better, we just do these things. You know
We
what I'm
do it.
saying? And
We
for
just
so
do it.
long, I haven't man prescribing red meat is crazy. So, but to persevere out of that, like so, yeah, like to persevere out of that, right? To come out of that. Um, how you doing? How you doing,
It's her
Monica?
right here.
How you doing?
Yes,
To
this is her.
thank you for joining us.
Good.
To
You're
persevere out of
welcome.
that, like so when y'all first got on the herb kick, you started watching Sebi and stuff. What was the approach? Like you ain't like you said, you was a hood dude, you ain't know nothing about this. How did you indulge and start learning about it? What was some of the first steps you took?
So the first thing we did was we cut out a lot of things because that's the way I coach now. It's not about what you can put in. It's about the things when you just learn to stop poisoning yourself. Okay. And like I
Right.
told people before, uh, I understand Sabi now, his approach. Like he came up in the 80s and when the crack era, when everybody was just, you know what I'm saying, either selling crack or smoking, you know what I'm saying? And around the time too, well, they had the red dyes and the blue 40s, the red 40s and the blue dyes and all that before, like in around the 60s. But around the 80s, it really started to explode. That's why you started seeing all the colors everywhere in all the foods. All the foods had these really wild colors, and that's when they started really adding the dyes to it, and the processed foods just took off. And that's really when they started taking the family aspect out of the household. You don't sit down and have breakfast anymore. Back in the day, our ancestors used to sit down for breakfast. They used to talk about what they were going to do with their day. And, all the family would be sitting around and they would know what everybody in the family is doing. And they would sit and they would exchange information, right? And
Right.
then they would come home later that day and they would have dinner. They would sit at the table and say, "What did you do today?" And everybody would help problem solve as a family. You know what I'm saying? They took that out now and they replaced it with Pop Tarts and everything else and on the go. And everybody had to work. Everything was getting more expensive. Everybody had to have a job. Everybody was running here and here and there. And they disconnected the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and food is an addiction too, because when we stop eating meat, I would have dreams about it. Wake up in cold sweats, like, what's going on? I need a pizza. I want this. Like, I'm like, I had to tell myself no. So it's a lot of discipline
Yeah.
and not eating.
So when we realized it was an addiction,
Yeah.
you had to treat it as such. You had to change your environment, right? That's why I respect you so much too. What I said on your post the other day, I was like, I like the one as soon as I started this, I was like, because you wanted to know where you can find me on the internet. You can't because I got banned everywhere. I just really didn't like the internet approach. I like the person to person the approach because it's hard to heal in an environment that's toxic. Okay. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to help a lot of people when I first started coaching in their own environment, but I didn't know what else was going on in their household. You know what I'm saying? If they're all the way in California and I'm over here in Pittsburgh or Connecticut, I don't know what their environment is like over there. I don't know what the family structure is like, what they're eating or anything like that. So it was hard. But what you do and what you did is you're bringing the healing to the people and you're letting them know you're providing that environment that I'm talking about, that healing environment, somewhere that's a space that you can come into and you can heal. Okay. Something that Sabi did, something that, Dr. Africa, and all those guys did it. And Dr. Yaki, shout to him. They opened the clinic because they understood this. Okay. You need to provide the healing environment in order to make sure that healing happens. And that's what you're doing. You're providing that environment. You're like, look, I'm bringing the healing to the house. Okay. I'm bringing it. I'm making a community. We're going to bring it to you. And that's what I love and respect about you guys, about you in the Broke Head Ramon.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that definitely. And Tiger, your wife name was Monica, right? Just so everybody know.
Yes.
Yeah, Monica. So
Monica
just everybody
Fit.
know. Okay, thank you.
I
I just
call her
wanted to get
Neezy,
that
baby. Yes.
Neezy,
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to give y'all a round of applause though and show y'all some love because it's interesting. You never ever see this. You never see a brother saying this where my journey started at. You know what I'm saying? Like with her. And you know, and to see y'all together.
Started out of love, bro.
Right.
That's love. That's love, man. And that's
Yeah.
commendable, man. Like I love that. And we need more of this.
Yeah.
That's why this visual is important.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and when Monica said food is an addiction, and I just said the other day on my video, my son came in the room the other day because I'm on watermelon, and this get emotional. You get hungry. You want stuff that you usually don't have. He came in the room the other day. He asked for some food. It took everything in me not to cuss him out, man. Like not to really go at him and say, "What the fuck you want to eat for? Don't you to ate twice today?" Like, and I had to literally ball up in the bed and go to sleep. Just to get over that. And I went in the room when I got up and I told him, like, man, I'm sorry. You know, you can have anything in the house you want. This stuff is tough. So, it get like that. So that's why I say I focus on mindset. Like the mindset you got to have to do this is something you got to work on every day.
Absolutely. And I noticed that you said something in one of your talks I was listening to. I listen to you all the time, but it's definitely when I talk to my clients, and I thought I was going to be talking about food a lot. I'm not talking about food most of the time, bro. We're talking about mental things, mental hurdles that you're going to have to get over. I'm more like a therapist than anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's about that environment again. If you can't provide the environment in your home for you to heal, you have to go somewhere where you can. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't have that option, so I try to help them make their environment conducive as possible to healing. You know what I'm saying? You know, food is information. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely information. It's definitely frequency. Okay. You know, and I try to, you know, get people to understand that, you know, in order to heal, you have to set yourself up for the right conditions or you're going to fail. You're going to fail every time. You know what I mean?
Indeed. Environment. I hear y'all talk about that. That environment. I was just telling my dad today how we set up to fail. And it was interesting that y'all brought, like, I noticed how we align because some of the things you're talking about are literally just conversed about today. And talking about how the family is split apart. And it's really why it's called apartments. To split the mind apart, to split the family apart. The word meant me mind.
Wow.
So they split, and you That's see deep. most families who stick together grow together. So we gotta. That's why I am so big on collabing and showing what you got and showing what I got. Like we all can eat. We all got to come together and join each other and grow together. Like that mentality is out the window. That old mentality of not working together, competing. We can compete together. We can have friendly competition. I know what you got. You know what I got. Let's all serve each other.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
People
like I saw the bro.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I saw the bro, the Tony Picard, and how big he's getting off the fruits. Like that was one of my journeys. Like I told you, I was never a big guy, so I always wanted to get big. You know, before, but now I realize like I'm happy with my size, I'm happy with my weight now, but that was one of my journeys before. And just to see him doing that, I'm like, okay, I know it can be done if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm a big advocate of working out all the time. And I just love to see it. I love to see it. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming for you, bro, because I love that type of competition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And it's so important to bring these people, to bring us together, right? So every day when I get up, I look at the community. If you notice, what I do is I go in the community because I'm just like everybody else. That's why when people say like, hey, bro, I watch you every day. Hey, man, you changed my life. I get the chills. Like,
Yeah.
I literally was in this room 2 years ago, drunk, crazy. So now I thought about it like, okay, I'm here to tell my story, share it with people so we can come together. Like, that's what this is truly all about. So this is a community, seeing y'all together. I've seen people already say, I'm glad Tiger wife in here, she got his back. Is so important. What is soul fuel?
Yeah.
Like, I see that on you. I keep looking at it. I'm thinking about it. What is soul fuel? And can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay. So soul fuel, to me, is basically what it sounds like. It's fuel for the soul. Okay. One thing that I learned dealing with herbs, especially when I was taking my courses, I learned that herbs are powerful by themselves. Sort of what Doc was talking about yesterday. Herbs are very powerful by themselves, but I started getting into herbal synergy, plant synergy. Okay. And when you take one herb that's powerful and take another herb that's powerful or an adaptogen and you put them together, and it gives a more powerful effect. That is called herbal synergy. Okay. And I was just fascinated by that. I was experimenting. I was I had my brother, I had my son, I had them tasting things, I had them trying things. Even her, she was my best. She was my best experiment. Poor her. If you would have saw,
I was taking shots.
She was basically taking shots because she couldn't take like capsules or anything like that. And I didn't even have the idea of capsules at the time. I was just experimenting with herbs,
so bitter,
trying different herbs, and all the healing herbs are really bitter. Okay, so if you can imagine, shot glasses all around the table, right, with different colors, looked like we was dyeing Easter eggs or something. With different colors of different concoctions around, and that's how she would take her supplements.
Yeah, just throw them back,
and just throw them back. Okay, until I started really getting into it, and I said, you know what? I don't want to taste this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to taste this. I want something that I can put in my body every single day. Because like I was telling you, we were doing just the fruits. And I was following my boy Orville Douglas for a while. And I was like, he can do it. I can do it. Right. And that's when I realized like all our bodies are not the same. We're not all wired the same. My metabolism was so high. I was the skinny, greedy kid. For real. I ate all the time, Bobby. Her the same way. When I met her, I would pull out our glove compartment, all snacks kind of falling out the glove compartment. Any snacks you can think of, bro. You know what I'm saying? When we first got together, we went to every bar. We was going to bars, drinking as soon as they opened, bro. We was in there playing pool, drinking, eating whatever they got. We were just trying whatever life had to offer. Okay. It started off like that. And we were just so toxed up, even though we looked so skinny, there were so many problems going on. Like she had her fibroids going on. Me, I was diagnosed with all these mental disorders. I was taking Adderall, drinking, doing all this other crazy stuff. We were just crazy toxed up. You know what I'm saying? And, I think like a lot of people say, when I say that it was kind of a blessing when Dr. Sebi went down, to me it was because I was following him blindly and I needed to explore outside of what he was doing. So when he passed, I went through those stages. I was angry at first, but then I was like, you know what? There's more out there. You know what I'm saying? And then I even started going as deep as to reading the books that Dr. Sebi was reading and going to the guy that he had learned from and got the Spanish translation of that. And started reading the PDF, and I was going that deep into the herbs. Okay, and then you just learn and you get better and better and better. And we knew that we had to be the examples of what we were representing. So that's what soul fuel is to me. It's giving you that fuel for your soul. That's why you have the eye there. The eye is the window to the soul. And that's why you have the capsule breaking with the electricity in it. Right?
Feeling from the inside out.
Right. We're all electromagnetic beings, right? So we had to feed ourselves some electric food. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I love the idea of, like I said, we can get our 92 minerals a day or 90 plus minerals a day on the go with one capsule. So that
Yeah.
was kind of my thing behind Soul Fuel. It's like fueling up your soul. That's when I could do only fruits because it was the other part that I was missing, the mineralization. I couldn't afford to keep buying fruits all the time, and I was eating fruits out of my mind. Like I would just, it was great for months, you know, on just fruit. But after a
And
while, I felt like I needed more. I feel like with my metabolism and how busy I was, how much I worked out all the time, I needed more. Sort of like that A game. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Right.
I need more. I needed to be mineralized. So that's where the idea of soul fuel came from.
that is dope. And you know what? I can attest to
Yes,
that.
sir.
It's so crazy because it's that's similar. That's my similar approach. When I first came on, I wasn't on the herbs. I didn't know nothing about them, and I was skeptical. And when
Right.
Doc reached out to me, I'm like, I don't know. But since I started taking them, man, my life has changed. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I wanna, I, I
Mhm.
Absolutely.
wanna, I wanna go back to Monica's story a little bit. You
Sure.
said y'all say like she was on her deathbed, right? Like
Yes.
when you say that, and then when did y'all work together to heal her, like from the things that y'all were learning?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just felt like I remember when I was up on the porch, I had got awakening because I was in so much pain and I wasn't eating because the medicine they gave me, I was always throwing up. So I didn't have nothing in my stomach. I was in so much pain. And I was on the porch in the sun and I was just thinking, and you get depressed when you're like that. And I could see, like, it was weird. People call me crazy, but like I could see through the house. It felt like nothing was there, and I could see right through the house. I could see through
Mm,
the wood and everything. And I just knew, I was like, if I'm gonna be here on this earth any longer, it's time to make a change. And I knew I had to change what I was eating. I had to make a big change. And me and Tony talked about it, and I didn't think he was going to be down for it. I thought I was going to be on my own journey, but he was like, yeah, he said he's going to change too. He's going to cut meat out and dairy and sugar. So I was just like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. And he always do good research. So I knew like he was going to help. Like we were going to heal.
We did.
Because
We
his
did a deep
research,
dive.
he goes deep.
We did a deep dive into it. And so what I realized, you know, more to be more a little bit more technical about it,
mm,
I learned Dr. Sebi talked about iron all the time, and I started ordering his herbs, his burdock root, his sarsaparilla. Jamaican sarsaparilla is one of the most iron rich plants that you can come across. Okay, and I realized that we were getting the wrong kind of iron. Okay, you know, we were getting the iron that was coming from the rocks, okay, and
mm.
instead of the plant iron that we were supposed to be getting, okay. So what plants do, they pull the minerals that we need and they make them bioavailable for us, okay. Uh, you know, everybody knows that when they're anemic or they're lacking iron, they get those little red iron pills, and they don't do anything. They make you itch. That's about it.
That's
But
it.
our bodies have a hard time.
Yeah, we took
Our bodies
those.
have a hard time
They didn't
absorbing
work.
those. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So so when we started getting her some plant iron in her, then you know her healing took off.
Oh yeah.
She started getting better and better. You know, actually fibroids started dropping out, if you
Oh
could
my
believe that.
goodness.
Fibroids, parasites, everything else.
Yeah.
Whenever we started cleansing, and then I realized that if you just get your body over 90 minerals a day, then it'll definitely take care of you. And that can be in the form of herbs, fruit. Hydration was one of them. That's why fruits are so important.
Right.
Hydration is one of the key factors that I realized that kept me ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? I failed a couple times before. In my
Right.
journey, I failed, you know, tremendously trying to go
I don't
vegan a
think it
couple
was
times.
failed. It was just experimenting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just didn't work out.
Yeah, going vegan, we tried it and it just wasn't working out. And then, you know, and the more you do it and the more you realize that it's working, then, you know, you get more benefits. And for me, that's all I need. I'm an application person. I want to try it. And I want to be in the space of knowing, not believing that these
Right.
things were working. And it's probably why my herbal mixes are so powerful, because I didn't want you to take the herb and be like, I don't know if it's working. I want you to be like, oh yeah, that's
Right.
working.
And
Hey.
we were taking them, so people have to realize we started taking them first. We did not think we were going to be selling herbs.
Yeah, we had
at
no
all.
intentions on selling
So
them.
we were just making them for ourselves, and people are like, "What are you doing? You look so much better. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Hey,
So where it took
I
off
know
for us
that
was
already.
around. Okay.
I know. I just wanted to say real fast.
Go ahead.
I know that already without even having taken your products, because shouts out to Lachey Taylor, who I'm doing the podcast with at 10 p.m. tonight.
Shouts out to the sis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had sent her something.
the
She hadn't
homie
been
right
getting
there.
no sleep, and she was like, "Man, Tiger sent me something, and I think I'm a lifetime buyer." I'm like, "What?" She like, "It's the best sleep I ever had." So I'm like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So that's right there. That's in real time. I know that's real. So
Real time.
yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off though. Go ahead.
No, so where it started first was around COVID time. And that's when we really had a chance to put this stuff to work, or
Right.
to the test. You know what I'm saying? People were dropping off like flies around us. You know what I'm saying? So we were the only ones basically in the school that wasn't really dropping off or getting sick
get
or
sick.
getting out of COVID. You know, and I realized it was because of my tea that I had learned from Sabi. It was burdock root, but I added my own little bit of mix to it, which is licorice root. Licorice root has a constituent in it that kills SARS-2. SARS-2 is a part of the C that we all know, that the pandemic that came along. So it worked really well. And then with the mullein that I put in, mullei's really good at pulling mucus from the lungs. So it was called Tiger Tea. I started with a tea. It was just called a Tiger Tea. That and I realized, I was like, now this is powerful stuff here. We were taking it to the hospitals. We were taking it to the hospitals so much, okay, that the security guards and everything, they just let us on in, and that's how they started ordering. It was insane. There was people on the ventilators and everything, and they would take the tea, and by the way we would be coming home from the hospital, they would hit us up and say, hey, they're letting me out of the hospital because my breathing was better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was working really fast,
Right.
and it was really effective. Okay. At the same time, I was working on my first product, which was called the Soul Fuel Complete, and that was the one that I wanted everybody to have, and that's why I call it complete. I wanted to have a multi-mineral, something that you could take every day, that didn't taste bad, that gave you energy, gave you clarity, gave you your iron, and you would just have to worry about that once a day. It's a pretty big capsule, so you only have to take one a day. That way, you didn't have to worry about taking all these things to get your minerals in, you know, because I understood that you needed, once I have all my minerals a day, I'm good. I really didn't, everything else was just extra at that point. You know what I'm saying? It makes it a lot better for you to mono eat a meal or mono eat fruits. It makes it so much easier. Okay. And then it puts you at the point where I think everybody should try to reach, which is homeostasis. You want to get back to balance. Okay. Once you get to balance, then you can have a cooked meal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends on what type of cooked meal.
What type of cooked meal? A lot of people think when we say cooked meal that we're eating all this crazy stuff.
Oh no.
About the wildest thing that she cooks is probably chickpea. You know what I'm saying? It's probably that.
I'm greedy. I don't care. I'll eat. I'll turn my mushrooms into chicken.
Yes.
I make curry lentils, taste like Jamaican food. Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Very good with the spices. Very good with the spices.
Yes.
You know what? Having that variety and doing things like that make their lifestyle easier. You know what I mean? Like being super strict. I learned that being super strict is like, you can't be too strict on yourself. It makes this lifestyle a lot tougher.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
a lot.
I'm a big believer in that.
Right.
I'm a big believer in, you telling your body, if you're eating something bad, the worst thing you want to do is say,
Yeah.
damn, I messed up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because when you do that, you're telling trillions of your cells that you just messed up. You know, and I'm sure you're aware of how placebo works. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have a
Mhm.
balance. Life is a
Facts.
balance.
Yeah,
So
You got
right.
to. That's why
yeah.
That's what homeostasis means, is the balance.
I'm
But
telling you,
most of the
like,
people you're dealing with in your community, they need healing. They are not at the point where they're not at homeostasis. So they I always advocate for a cleanse first. Any client that I
A
deal with,
detox.
I tell them you have to detox, you have to cleanse, and that usually entails fruits. And then I came up with kind of my own program where it's kind of you're eating, but you're eating according to your circadian rhythm. Okay.
Right.
So if you're not familiar with the circadian rhythm, it's our body's biological clock. It's regulated by light and dark. So as soon as we wake up, as soon as that light hits our eyes, our body starts producing cortisol, serotonin, these things that get us going, right? A lot of hormones get a bad rap, especially the cortisol. Uh, because it's a stress hormone, right? A lot of people they confuse it as a stress hormone, but it's supposed to get us going, it's supposed to get us up and moving, right? But whenever you wake up, you're detoxing. Your body's detoxing for the first 3 or 4 hours. So you want to give it some astringent fruit. You just want to help that out, right? So that's where doctors came out with orange juice. That's where they came out with the citrus first, because they understood in the morning you have to cleanse. They had that part right. So you
yeah,
get on the citrus. Citruses are very cleansing. Citrus, you get on the oranges, the grapes, pineapple, anything that's cleansing, right? And
yeah,
then when you move into the evening, high noon, that's when you can put in more, because that's your metabolic window where the sun is highest in the sky. So we're able to process more. We're able to process more food. We're able to break down food a lot faster. So you can get a little bit heavier with your meals. And that's when I decided, okay, that's when I want to stay hydrated the most. That's when I want to get in my big watermelons, on my smoothies, salads, if I have raw salads and things like that, because my body breaks things down a lot, like really fast at that time. My metabolism is crazy, bro.
Fast.
So that time, once I get through that time, that's pretty much it. The rest of the day, I can snack on berries. I can do things that are more natural to me. You know what I'm saying? In the evening, when the sun starts to go down, you're not supposed to be putting anything in your body. You're supposed to be preparing your body. Your body starts producing more melatonin. It wants to produce melatonin because it wants to allow you to get more sleep. It wants you to get and why does it want to get us to get more peaceful sleep? Because that's our repair time.
I was gonna say heal.
That's when you start healing at night. Your body goes in, it takes all those minerals, the 90 plus minerals, and it starts putting them to work. For enzymes, cofactors, it might need to combine with another herb, might need to build something, might need to break something down. That's why I say if you just take care of yourself and give it the minerals that it needs, your body's definitely going to take care of it.
And it will be hard to break down meat. Like people want to eat meat, but it's going to be hard for you to heal because the body is always digesting the bad foods.
Right.
So it's like
so anything you're pulling from that meat, I don't care if it's amino, which basically was protein is, you're still exchanging it for acidosis. You're leaving metabolic waste in your body. Okay. And that metabolic waste, it builds up, it turns into mucus. Okay. And that mucus hardens up after a while in your body if you're not flushing it out, and it turns into a mucoid plaque. Okay. And it lines the inside of your organs. And then that's when people have absorption problems, and then they can't even absorb minerals. Okay. And this is why I always try to tell people to start with a cleanse or a detox so you can properly absorb any type of mineral. I don't give them supplements right off the bat, because you give them supplements right off unless it's a cleansing herb, because they're not going to be able to absorb it.
You know what? It was so crazy that y'all took the question I was going to ask you first was like, what's a day in the life? And then you answered that. And then I was going to ask you, can you eat a sad diet and herbs like the like Soul Fuel and A Game and all these, can they still work?
People
Like
do it.
Like you say, when you laying down at night and your body is using those herbs and they making those transactions together and everything, is that working the same if you're not on a plant diet?
No. You just basically you keep running into a circle. You're going into a toxic cycle is what you're doing. You're cleansing a little bit and then you're messing yourself up. Cleansing yourself and you're messing yourself up.
They're not going to heal all the way.
No, they're definitely not. But there's people that do it. There's people that take my herbs for so many different reasons. If I showed you some of the testimonials, there's some people. I have this thing. It's called Soul Fuel Clean, and it's a parasite detox. And I wanted to make it a non-laxative because I didn't want people running to the bathroom all the time. So there's Cascara Sagrada in it. There's wormwood. There's cloves. Some other things that help kill parasites in it. But what it does is it helps you break down food tremendously. So there's some people that'll eat a bad meal and then just pop a clean. They take the clean 3 times a day because it helps them digest their food properly. It helps them break it down a little bit better. And then it feel good as long as you get it out of your body. Some people got to start somewhere. So there's some people that's on that part of their journey where they're feeling a lot better. They're getting rid of a lot of things. So you can heal on the supplements, but it's nothing compared to being on a plant-based or a fruit-based diet. So I mean, you just thrive, you take off.
So my own experience with the clean, my feet had swelled up. So like I look like a big person, and we were traveling at the time, and Tony had to wheel me around in the airport because when I was walking, it felt like bricks. I was still on my healing journey, but I was still moving around. So I took the fruits and took the clean. I ended up dropping 6 parasites. And after I dropped those 6 parasites, my feet, the swelling went down. I felt like a whole new person. Like I had a whole new body. Like it's crazy. I just felt so fresh.
And also too, another one of our products is called the Thundercat, right? And what Doc was talking about, it's a serious libido booster. Okay. Now there's people that take that all the time and they take it for whatever reasons. It definitely helps with the stamina. I don't care if that stamina is in the bedroom. I don't care if that stamina is lifting weights, but it's great for recovery. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people do misuse the herbs, but that's what herbs are for, to use them for. There's so many different purposes for herbs, so many different combinations you can use. I'm still going and testing stuff all the time, bro. Right. When I took one of my classes, one of the classes were Ayurveda, and that's like Chinese medicine. They go back thousands of years, bro, thousands of years of people blending and mixing herbs and using herbal synergy and plant synergy. And so people, you still can get benefits, but ultimately, if you don't fix your main meal, like we're about 80% fruit. We'll have some salads and maybe one cooked meal every once in a while. And that's our balance. Most people have to find their balance, what their balance is. But until you fix that main consumption of the day, you're still going to be dealing with those same type of problems.
Indeed.
I believe you got to get 90 plus minerals in your body according to your size, which is your weight, your activity, how much you do throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ask, like, 92 minerals. I'm like, well, yeah, according to your size or whatever. So you might have to take more of those minerals than the average person. And your condition, like how backed up is your lymphatic system? I try to tell people, how bad are you? You know what I'm saying? Those are all factors that really factor in whenever you're talking about healing, self-healing.
That is on point. And I've been pouncing on movement.
Man, I see you, bro. Hey, those real steps, bro. I see you.
I'm trying to tell you, it's like I found a new way of taking care of myself. like overall though, like walking provides therapy, exercise, like creativity. Like the longer you walk and the more you walk, the more you talk to yourself, the more you think. I literally be thinking about scenarios the whole time I'm walking. You can walk into your vision, literally.
You manifest it.
Literally, you can just see yourself walking into your vision and feel it. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, so all of this go together. We got so much to talk about. You definitely gonna have to come on the podcast. Let me ask you this, Ty. With all the herbs, and everybody got herbs in the community. It's so much. It's so much. Is it possible that everybody herbs is on point? Everybody, what are some things to look out for when you looking for herbs?
The difference between our herbs and everybody else's herbs, we use whole plant herbs. Okay, so we don't take a constituent from it, like a vitamin E or a vitamin D or a vitamin B or anything like that. Those are called isolates. Okay, the reason why they're called isolates is because you're isolating a piece of the herb. Okay, you're isolating something from it. It's like the coffee bean is okay, but when you take the caffeine out of it, it makes it a drug, right? So what happens is whenever you do that, your body it has side effects. That's what side effects are. Okay, that herb wants to be complete. Dr. Sebi used to say it a lot. He used to be like, that structure is not complete. The herb, all it wants to do is just wants to complete itself. So you're taking one piece of it, it's going to be without until you make that complete. So we use the whole herb. Okay, and a lot of things too around COVID. I do. Not all sea moss is the same, bro. Not all sea moss is the same. Not all herbs are the same. Not a lot of people process their herbs the same. Okay, so I like to get the herb ourselves, and we do everything ourselves.
Do the blending.
We dehydrate the herb ourselves. We blend it ourselves. We put them in capsules ourselves. Okay, to ensure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting. But I can't speak for anybody else's herbs. I've tried other people's herbs and they didn't have the effect and they didn't work. Okay.
Don't go to Walmart. Walmart sell white sea moss.
Yeah, where do you get white sea moss in nature? I don't understand.
Don't go to Walmart and get your.
But so that's just an example, man. They're trying to make a dollar like they always did off of something that's natural that comes from the earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of my skepticism came from with herbs because I'm like, where everybody getting their herbs from? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a lot of people, like you just don't know. So with the sea moss too, though, do you use sea moss? Do you recommend it?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. Reason why I advocate for sea moss is because it has those 90 plus minerals that I was talking about. You know, I mean, we need magnesium, we need potassium, we need all those things. Okay. But it's very good for the thyroid. Okay. The thyroid, you know, is responsible for calcium, your bones and things like that. So I do advocate for sea moss, but there's some other herbs that contain 90 plus minerals also, that if people, you know, maybe having thyroid issues or iodine problems or anything like that, moringa, spirulina, burdock root, those contain 90 plus minerals as well. There's other options, but you know, me, I like the purple sea moss. I've been dealing with my same supplier since COVID. They were fishermen from St. Lucia, and then they had just got into selling sea moss, so I got them at an early time, so I get a really good deal on my sea moss, and I get the purple sea moss, and I dehydrate. Well, it's already dehydrated. I dehydrate it just a little more, then I grind it into powder, and that seems to be the most potent sea moss that I can find. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely advocate for sea moss. And I could probably make a lot more money if I just bought sea moss here in the United States, but
I wouldn't trust
I don't trust a lot of things in the United States, bro. It's just how it is. Things seem so, like, other countries seem so much better than ours right now, and that's just because we live in the United States. We have greedy people here, man. They take everything and they just take it and make the worst out of it. You know what I'm saying? They're taking our tax dollars and They're using it for greed. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You go anywhere
Nothing.
else, man, they got fresh markets, they got fresh fruit, they advocate, they stand up for what they believe in. Here it's so hard.
It's a
That's why it's so important
slow,
what you do, man. You're bringing it
right.
the real to the people, man. And I I'm not big on prayer, but I meditate all the time, just like you. When I'm walking, when I'm
That is
exercising, when I'm doing anything, I'm meditating all the time. And I always have you in there, man, for protection, because what you're doing is a dangerous thing. I want you to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Oh yeah.
It's already
Indeed.
happened to me. I've had my business shut down, basically, where I was snatched off IG, snatched off TikTok. You know what I'm saying? All I had was left was Facebook. So I was like, let me behave for a little bit so I can at least have one platform where I can talk a little bit. But what you're doing is powerful, man.
Right.
I appreciate it.
They don't want
1,000.
no one healing naturally. They
No.
don't want to see that.
And you know what? And I can appreciate that. And you know what? My message to the people, family, is real simple. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them people, I don't like things complex. I don't like overcomplicating things, because when you do that,
Right.
that pushes people away from things. When they gotta think
Mm.
too much to do real little. Like, it don't take a lot to heal yourself, but we think that it do.
No.
You know,
Right,
it's
right.
really about implementation. So that's why I love getting up, being the example. And now that I'm leveling up off of herbs, and that's why I'm like, man, I got to get Tiger back on here. And it was just impulsive. It was just a feeling, because I'm like, this is what I'm on. I can feel it. I know the change that I have inside of me, and I know why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I want to share it with the world. Before we get out of here, though, let me ask you about, what do you think about what we got going on as far as like these long mono eating challenges? And I know you currently, y'all just did like a challenge of 30 days and stuff. How did that go for y'all?
Yeah. It's still going.
No, we do it every month.
Yeah, we do it every month.
We just let people know because we're the example.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just our lifestyle. We just invite people to, because people jump in on different types of the journeys. We just let you know that this is our lifestyle. We do it every single month. It just resets at the beginning of the month. We just do it all the time. We let people know. It's basically just eating in circadian rhythm, getting your fruits in, staying hydrated, and that's basically it. We keep it simple. We exercise. We encourage each other. That's basically all it is, bro. It's just being accountable and showing people we have to be advocates for what we believe in, and we just live it every day. That's why it's called a lifestyle challenge. We live it. It's nothing fake. I can turn the camera on anytime. I swing the camera around here and show you herbs. You know what I'm saying? It's what we live. It's nothing fake. It's nothing that we're trying to get people to subscribe to for money. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. But it's just being accountable like you are, bro. You show up every day. You show up for the people, and that's what it's all about.
Indeed. That's what we got to continue to do, man. That's why I'm honored.
But
I'm literally
one more thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to think about what you guys are doing with the watermelon challenge and all that stuff and mono eating, that I put my clients on all the time. So that's why I show them your stuff. You guys made it easier. You, Kevin Ramon, especially, he talks so simple, and he doesn't put up with the BS either. So I just started directing some of my clients to the page, because before that, I told you we were just crazy conspiracists talking about, two skinny people talking about don't eat. You know what I'm saying? And then you guys, when you came on Yaki's show, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, he just dove into something. He wasn't a super genius. He didn't know about all these crazy different things. He just decided to do something, and he did it, and he got results from it. You know what I'm saying? So I love what you guys are doing. The only thing that we do that's different, I believe food has a frequency, and I believe when you give it different combinations, because not all food is the same. Not all vegetables are the same. Not all fruits are the same. They all carry different frequency. I believe in combination. When you hit them with those combos, then it unlocks a certain frequency. It vibrates at a certain frequency. You start unlocking that junk DNA that we all supposedly have. Okay. So I believe in I do believe in plant synergy, mixing this with that, mixing this with that.
Indeed.
But mono eating, we do it all the time. One day I'll just eat a whole bunch of watermelon. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so busy that day. Next day I'll just eat a whole bunch of grapes. It's still mono eating. You know what I'm saying? And I teach that to my clients all the time, because that's a healing. It's a healing practice. Mono eating.
Indeed.
Definitely, if you want to stop, you want to give your body that vacation, that solitude vacation from working so hard, processing 20 meals a day. You definitely want to mono eat, because like I said, it's information. And how do you want to feed information? Do you want to give it a steady, solid instructions, or do you want to give it all these instructions at once? You know what I'm saying? So that one to me is simple.
Keep it simple.
Mono eating is perfect for healing.
Perfect. And I'm looking forward to, doing what we're doing this summer, because last summer brought so much to me. It brought so much to me in the form of my mentality, my perspective, the way I go about life, the way I look at people and everything. So I'm looking forward to the level up, and it's tough. It's tough. And I look forward to the challenge. I literally look forward to the challenge. I love challenging myself. Yeah. Like I say, when you challenge yourself, there's no such thing as failure. It's a challenge.
Right.
You go as far as you can go. You didn't fail. You challenged yourself. So I got that in my mentality. And when you in a 100-day challenge, you can go in and out of it.
So you can start over.
Yeah, you can go 30 days and say, man, I fell off the wagon, but you really didn't. You just started doing something else that you wanted to do. And it's literally that simple. So that's where my mentality at. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are so amazing. This has been gorgeous, beautiful. Hey, can everybody please put some fire emojis in the chat for my brother and my sister right here? This is amazing. We definitely going to have to bring you on the podcast, both of y'all, and we're going to have to talk that ish. Tonight, me and Lachey Taylor on there, what we're going to do is next Wednesday, I would like to invite y'all on there with me and her. And we're going to get it in.
We coming in. We talking about it all.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's putting that out there right now. Let's
go.
Let's do it. So, like I said, soulfuelsupplements.com. soulfuelsupplements.com, family. This is what it is. This is what we do. Like, y'all know, we got A Game. They got Soul Fuel. It's enough. This you want variety. You want both people to come to. Everybody can eat. Everybody can win. Everybody can help heal each other. So definitely check.
The way I want to say that. The way I want to say that is you got to look at the ops. The ops are giving us poison from every angle, from all these different companies. We can do the same thing on the other side, bro. We can bring the healing from so many different angles, bro. We gotta do that. They never take a day off. We don't have to take a day off. There's so much for people to gain, and there's so much to be made, and there's so much work to be done that nobody should be worried about that or competing, bro. No. You try the A Game, you try the Soul Fuel, whatever works the best for you. That's what you do on your journey.
As long as you're healing yourself, at the end of the day.
There it is.
Hey, beautiful, man. I really appreciate y'all. This was fantastic. I can't wait till next Wednesday so we can dive deeper. And we lit. This is truly just the start. The summer ain't even started yet. And look at us. High level, we bringing the information, and we're going to bring a lot more. So, hey, y'all have a wonderful night. I appreciate y'all. It's much love. And I'm glad to have met y'all finally, man. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Definitely. We'll see you at 10 o'clock. I'm jumping in on that.
Oh, yeah. We about to get it in. Definitely. I appreciate y'all. Right. Much love, family. Have a wonderful night.
All right, family. Peace. Thank you for everything.
Indeed. For sure.
Yes, sir.
Fruit up, family. Y'all know what it is. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all see how we bring in the energy. This is what we do. soulfuelsupplements.com. agameherbal.com, watermelonwashout.com. You see how we turning the summer up? We ready to go. We ready to get it in. We ready to get healthy. Make sure y'all tune in to Fruit Up with Bobby Smith at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm about to take a quick break and we right back to it. We are truly working. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tune in 10 p.m. Eastern time. Bobby Smith, Lachey Taylor, Juice Champs, Fruit Up family. I love y'all.